and Jared Pawlicki.
Or not.
This is a little funny behind-the-scenes story. So I was just back there I worked out this morning and I was doing pull-ups, so I put my ring into my shorts, and I realized right before we were coming to stage that my ring was still in my shorts, which were in the car, and so there's like a big scramble. I was like, I don't want to go out there and start this rumor mill. Like, why are you wearing this ring? So I was just digging through my dirty clothes. Apologies ahead of time.
Crisis averted. Good morning, everyone. How
It is hot.
It's a little warm.
It is.
How's everybody feeling?
So bad.
Hungover.
How's the season going so far? Good. We are officially. What's it?
I mean, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Cheer for honesty, right? We are officially 3 days into our 13th episode of the season, also known as our 300th episode of the show. So, exciting times. Would you like to tell them what it's about?
Nope.
Take it over. I guess that's that.
There are some surprises. There's some great little Easter eggs in the 300th episode, but I'm not going to ruin that for y'all. So, just
I will ruin it. So, it starts out. Shall I? I haven't read it yet, so I decided to approach it like Jensen approaches episodes, and kind of reading it one word at a time.
yeah, just read your stuff. That's you know.
Special scripts printed up with just my lines. Well, you guys have been patiently waiting, so before we jabber, that was a quick hand. I'll take it. I like your Christmas flair.
Do you know?
I do. I do not. I do not anymore.
Wow. Boo. Walked right into that one, didn't you?
Boo hits.
So, in the Christmas spirit, 1, what's your favorite Christmas movie? And 2, there's only one right answer to this part. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Well, I think Die Hard's one of the top 5 Christmas movies. My favorite Christmas movie, God. I have 3 that I have to watch every year.
Christmas Cottage.
No. I'm not.
Point.
Okay, 1, Jared 0. It vacillates between Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, and Love Actually. And I have a funny story about Love Actually. So I went from Africa, where I shot Flight of the Phoenix, and flew straight to Australia to shoot House of Wax. And like Africa, where I was in Swakopmund Bay and Namibia, there was a movie house, which was, I mean, it was basically like somebody's garage, and had a movie theater. There were 2 movies that were playing, Love Actually, and I forget the second one. I think it was one with Orlando Bloom. Anyways. And so I had watched it over and over and over again, because that's all there was to do. You could either like run on the sand, or run from lions, or watch Love Actually. And I just loved the movie. And so I'm sitting there in the House of Wax. I played Alicia Cuthbert's boyfriend, and I'm sitting talking about the movie, and I'm like, it's great, this and that. And she's giving me this really funny look. I'm like, what? I'm serious, it's great, you gotta see it. And she's like, are you kidding? I'm like, no, I'm not kidding, it's a great movie. And she goes, I'm in it. I was like, that's right, you are in it. Just slink back into the shadows. Mr. Ackles, what's the best Christmas movie of all time?
I don't know.
You do know.
I will say that I just recently put on Home Alone with my 5-year-old. That's not appropriate. I mean, I thought it was great up until this little kid, like, looks to his mother and goes, I hope I never see any of you jerks again. I'm like, ooh. Where's Polar Express? I mean, there's some, and I immediately turned to JJ and I was like, ooh, to see that with, she's like, that wasn't very nice. I'm like, no, that was not nice. And guess what? He's gonna wake up tomorrow and his family has disappeared. And then before she could realize that that was, you know, that they had just left him at home alone, I turned it. So she thinks that he made his family disappear by calling them all jerks. And hopefully there was a lesson learned there. Just don't show your 5-year-old that movie yet. Maybe wait till they're a little older to where they can understand it. You know, Christmas Vacation is a go-to. Obviously Die Hard. There is, I'm kind of a sucker for, do you guys ever see Scrooge? Well, so Scrooged with Bill Murray. Amazing. But then Scrooge with Albert Finney is like, in my opinion, like one of the best versions of that story. So anyway, there you go.
But your favorite, I thought you had a different favorite that I've never seen.
It's not my. It's certainly one that I will always watch in the holidays. That's Elf with Will Ferrell. He's never seen it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, point deduction.
I didn't have a point yet. She got the point.
You're -0. You're in negatives.
What's your favorite?
That's a great one.
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
All right. Good one. All right.
Hey, look, it's a deer.
Also, probably not okay for a 5-year-old.
Probably not. But I think you know going into that movie that's might be a little, a little dicey. Let's go far back. Blue, beautiful sweater. Yeah, I got you.
How do you know it's beautiful? I see like one.
I'm pretty sure it's an ugly sweater, so that's beautiful to me.
So I was wondering if, Jensen, if you could tell us a little bit about the second location of the brewery that's going to be opening soon.
Yeah. Get on it.
Sure, real quick. So there is a market that's opening up just south of Ben White on South Congress in Austin, closer to town, obviously. And it's going to be a big marketplace. They've done a few of these: Chelsea Market in New York, Oxbow Market, Napa, California. There's one in San Francisco. I forget the name of it. But
it's not Piers 31 Market or whatever.
Yeah, big kind of open air market with a whole bunch of vendors, and they usually have, you know, they'll have a butcher shop, they'll have a cheesemonger, they'll have spices, they'll have a brewery. So it'll be a satellite part of our bar, and that'll be in that market when they open up. I think they're looking at like the latter part of next year.
So are you guys going to be able to like sell the beer we can take back home to Dallas when we're in Austin?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll actually have brewing stuff on site there, but it'll be more like a test kitchen. Yeah.
Hi.
Cool.
Hi.
Sorry, we're making you run forward and back and forth.
Just yell.
We're sadistic.
What do you guys love and hate most about your characters?
Jensen, you want to start this?
I mean, I've grown to love and hate lots of things about this character over the years, but I would say, off the top of my head, one of the things that I love about him is one of the reasons that I was attracted to him early on. He's character, and it's really his bone structure. And oddly enough, it's the same reason he's attracted to the character. No, it's. I think it's that real devil-may-care attitude, that kind of, you know, anti-hero, the swashbuckling Indiana Jones style of handling situations has always been a character. Whether it's Dean Winchester or whether it's other characters, whether it's John McClane, whether it's Indiana Jones, whether it's these characters that are just, you know, Han Solo, not to name every Harrison Ford character ever made.
President of the United
The character in Firewall.
Witness. But it's that kind of, that attitude that that Dean carries with him that I've always been a big fan of, and I'd say that on the flip side of that, that can also get him in trouble. But again, I've always liked that aspect of him. Something that I disliked, I don't know. He's pretty amazing. I don't know. No.
And so humble.
He could use a new pair of boots. He's had the same boots for like 10 years. Might be time. Yeah, he doesn't have a mom. Is that what you said?
Yeah, how dare you?
He does now. I would say that I don't know. I hate about him.
Here, think about it. For Sam, I like the way he approaches, much like he likes the way Dean approaches a case. I love the way Sam approaches a case. You know, he's a compassionate guy, he's an empathetic guy, so he's not going in with guns blazing, he kind of takes a more academic approach. What I don't like about him is because he takes a more academic approach, he's always getting beat up. So I've had the unique joy of putting on a lot of blood on my face and other parts of it. So maybe if he stopped getting beat up so much. He needs to keep his gun on a bungee.
You know what? I just thought of something that does kind of bother me about the show and about the characters over the years is that they haven't their weapon and technical prowess hasn't evolved over the years. Like they still carry their guns in their waistband. Which why don't they have like double? Seriously, like why aren't they wearing like Kevlar vests at this point? Why don't they have like such advanced weapon systems on them and in their car? Why haven't they mounted a minigun on the top of the Impala?
Why don't we have like a full body?
That's what I'm saying.
That's salt and iron.
That's what I dislike about this character. Their lack of innovation.
And the things we know, like if we each had like a full one of those green screen bodysuits that had iron,
absolutely,
and salt,
or like hit a button and like little iron spikes shoot out on the vest in every direction. I mean, it'd be like a ghost or sniper. Hello, Casper. Hug me. So I don't know. That could certainly that would have been nice to have that evolve over the years. But
we haven't adapted very well.
We have not adapted. We've just survived.
At least
basically.
The salted hula hoop, where we're just kind of walking around.
Yeah. That would have been great. You just fill up a hula hoop full of salt and just. Bring it on, ghosts! No, not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. All right.
Let's go way over here. Yes. Hi.
Hi. I don't really have a question. I can't.
Thank you.
I
just airing out your pits. What's going on?
I forgot the I couldn't think of anything that you guys hadn't been asked over and over again. So what I really wanted to say was just thank you for what you do, and also thank you to your families who share you with us on these conventions. I know you spend a whole lot of time away from them, and they're kind of the unsung heroes, the unsung support group for you guys, so I really appreciate that they share you with us.
Thank you.
I will say, I agree. However, last week, kind of the vomit, diarrhea, flu went around my family in Austin, and I was in Vancouver, so I was like, oh, thank God. Dodged a bullet. Every day it was like, Chevy up at 4 o'clock, both ends, and then it goes to Odette, then it goes to Tom. So I'll call Jen in the morning, I'm on my way to work, and I've had a nice workout in, got some sleep. I'm like, hey, how's things going? She's like, I've been up since 2. I'm like, oh, you got this handled. I'll talk to you later.
You're a monster.
Totally. Right here on the Christmas hat. Yes. You had your hand up.
I know, but I wasn't sure. If you could choose another cartoon to do a crossover with, what would it be?
Simpsons. that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, I've got some choice words for Rainbow Dash.
South Park, Dean kills Kenny.
I don't know. See, I used to watch adult animated.
No, don't finish that.
Now all I get is Puppy Pals and My Little Pony and Vampirina. Let's do Vampirina. And we'd wipe them out real quick. What's that?
Who did?
What?
The anime?
Yeah.
Who died?
No.
Yeah, that's a hard pass.
Being told no. I'm going to go way there in the back. Way with the hand up, yes.
Quick question for you. After 14 years of you all being together, how do you differentiate Jared and Jensen from Sam and Dean?
One wears beanies and one doesn't. It's becoming more difficult, I guess. Jared, as far as I know, has never been Lucifer. So I guess there are a lot of things. We spend a lot of time being both characters. I think Jared has learned to become more selfish than Sam in a good way. You know, I'll fight for myself as well. And Sam doesn't always do that. That's what comes to mind, but probably a lot of things. Sam does his hair, Jared does not.
Sam does not. Sam does not do his hair. Sam has a team of people that does his hair.
Sam showers.
That's not true either. Unless you shower as Sam.
Yeah, girl.
Well, things just got better.
Anime?
I was going to say over the past 14 years, it's probably become easier because we have, when the cameras are rolling and they yell action, we snap into character pretty easily, pretty quickly. When they yell cut, we snap back. And I think the earlier part of the season, maybe we try to stay in character a little bit more just to kind of
remember what to do.
Yeah. So, and as we've gotten more comfortable and more kind of in touch with who these characters are, we've been able to kind of separate them a little bit more from who we are personally. And so yeah, it's you know, when talking about his and I's relationship, there are two different relationships. There's Jensen and Jared, and then there's the relationship we have as brothers, Sam and Dean. So, and I think we've been able to separate those fairly well over the years, and I think it's even gotten easier.
Real quick, my husband has bared with me through this whole convention.
Thank you.
He's dying to know who is the big spoon and who's the little spoon.
Here's the conundrum. Double big spoons.
The real question is who's the spoon and who's the fork?
Another conundrum. Double sporks. Really just a butter knife. How about over here? Hi.
I was wondering, as an actress, how do you guys
Wait for your mic. Wait for your mic.
How do you guys prepare for emotionally taxing scenes, and how do you connect to the scenes?
Well, as an actress, he would have to answer that
So. Have another coffee.
You know what? My response kind of goes back to his response to the prior question, which is it's become easier to kind of get into, I think early on, you know, you kind of try all the tricks, you try emotional recall, memory recall, and whatnot, but the more comfortable you are with the character and what they're going through, the easier it is. And we've talked about this together. My least favorite thing that any script can ever say is they cry. You know, Sam cries. Because in the past, there have been scenes where it says, you know, Sam breaks down and cries or whatever. A tear drops, and then all you're thinking about is like, oh, I have to like get to a place to cry, and it becomes kind of forced. A lot of the scenes where Sam and or Dean have broken down and actually cried, that was nowhere near the script. You know, it just happened as a character. And conversely, sometimes when it says they break down, it didn't feel like a time when it would have been appropriate to break down. So it's kind of very, it's a moment by moment, scene by scene decision. And if you feel it that day, and if your character's going through something, I guess be true to what you're feeling. Because there's nothing worse than somebody going like, oh God, I have to cry, and trying to force it, you know, when you're just not feeling it. And Robert De Niro said something one time, something to the effect of, and I'm going to sort of bastardize this a little bit, but something to the effect of, human beings try not to cry, they don't try to cry. So seeing somebody try to get to the place where they're crying, it just feels fake. You know, most people when they break down are actually trying to kind of hold it together and be tough through it. And I think that's much more dynamic and interesting as a fan of the craft of acting, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree with that. In fact, if you ever see, you know, she cries in a script, just change that to gets emotional. Yeah. Because, you know, you can be emotional and not have to, you know, do the waterworks. You know, sometimes it won't say that at all, and you'll feel emotional because of whatever the scene is giving you or what you're feeling from the other person that you're working with, and that can also get you. But I would say, at the very basis, be available for that. Be emotionally available when you walk on scene, when you walk on set. Don't have your lines and your delivery so over-rehearsed that there's only one way you're going to do it.
Rigid.
Be available for what the scene, for those little magic moments that might reveal themselves during the scene, so that you can use those and you can accept those, and those can actually be a part of your performance. There are many times, many scenes where we run the lines, you know, 5, 6 times, then we get on set and we start putting emotion behind those words, and all of a sudden it becomes a completely different scene, something that we hadn't even thought of. And it's because he and I are both available for that emotion to surface. That said, I did a scene in the last episode we just shot, which will be episode 12, where Dean's in a bad spot physically, and it wasn't written emotional like it was, but it was written. There was, I would say, scared, and that got me very emotional. So much so that when I was done doing this whole scene, I had several crew people come up with tears in their eyes.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, that just freaked me out. And so, yeah, look for that. But that was one of those. That was one of those scenes where you don't expect it to happen, and then all of a sudden you're in this scene and you realize the weight and the gravity of what is happening to this character, and it just became very heavy, and it was like almost this weight was on my shoulders, and that just, it got me emotional for Dean, which then in turn Dean got emotional. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm gonna go with Jackie. Okay, here in the blue shirt, front row.
Why is it that Mark says that y'all don't prank him?
Pellegrino?
Yeah.
Because he's tough.
Yeah.
He said that he had a scene with you that where he punched you in the stomach, and it was like, I don't know. He said, first of all, he said you're 9 feet tall.
He's not lying.
He said, but y'all don't like him enough to prank him.
I think we're just scared of him.
I think there's two things factor in. One, we revere him as someone who was way more talented than us, who has a much more, I would say, I don't know.
I feel like we're trying to learn from him.
Yeah, he's somebody that he's got a career. We can learn from him. Also, he's a trained boxer and would destroy us if he decided he wanted to. And I I don't think he and I had ever thought about messing with him.
He said that you did a scene a while back that where you had to leap from one area to another, and you made it look so simple that he was like feeling pain that.
What was it? Who had to leap?
Where we had to
Jensen.
To leap?
And in the Ultra Universe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's being modest. He's a humble guy, but he's super athletic. And,
yeah, Mark's. Yeah, you don't want to mess with Mark Pellegrini.
I'd like to see. Maybe we can get Misha to prank him.
It's like a Frankenception.
Recasting Castiel.
When we got to that fight with Lucifer in the cage, do you guys remember that? Yeah. And it was originally they were going to play Everybody's Kung Fu Fighting, which would have been amazing. And that's what we were actually playing that on set for some weird reason. They couldn't get that song. They couldn't for whatever reason. So they did something that was similar. But in that scene, I think he's got you like he's like choking you up against the wall, and I come up behind him, kick him or something. He turns around and loads up a punch and hits me straight on. Of course, he doesn't actually hit me, but I've never been in a fight where someone has gotten so close to my nose that I'm fairly certain he like
the oxygen.
He hit a hair on my nose that I don't have. And it was so close, but he was so precise, and I just remember thinking like, oh gosh, that was my life right there. And from then on, I was like, I don't want to fight him anymore, ever.
Much less pranking.
Yeah. All right, sweetheart. Yeah, right there with the hat.
What's your favorite holiday?
Favorite what? Holiday.
You know what? The one coming up is pretty neat.
I'm going to say Thanksgiving. And here's why. Never mind, apparently you know.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving also has a special, for Cowboys fans, Thanksgiving is very special because there's a tradition of getting around watching the Dallas Cowboys game. Yeah. Division leaders, and still will be after today. Oh, really? Oh. Sorry about that. Cliff. You know what? You know what's funny? One of the reasons I like Thanksgiving is because everybody can celebrate it. You know, it's not a religious holiday so much. So, you know, you can have turkey with your Jewish friends and your Islamic friends and whomever. So I feel like it's more everybody can kind of take part. And there's also, I think when Thanksgiving comes around, the anticipation for Christmas builds also. And so Christmas I love. I end up spending too much time shopping. You know? So.
You mean the week prior to Christmas?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But yeah,
he doesn't think about it until, like me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's December 15th. I should probably start buying Christmas presents.
I'll start in a couple of days.
Yeah, I still got 5 days.
What's your favorite holiday?
It's Easter and Christmas.
Oh, good choice.
Very good ones. Thanks for your question.
Thank you.
I see someone with an angel blade, and she seems very upset, so I don't want her to kill the people around her. So, for the health of everybody, I'm going to.
Okay.
Angel blades are flying. Everybody was coming through.
Okay. This is a serious question for Jensen.
Thank God. She's got an angel blade.
Okay, hang on.
What was it like to finally get to be able to play Michael?
Terrifying. Because I've never played another character on the show. I've only played different versions of Dean. So to actually play somebody completely different was challenging, a little frightening, exciting. I was a little unsure about how it all was going to kind of unfold until it did. So I was thankful to have directors that knew me and that I have a history with, a relationship with, Tom Wright, Richard Spate, that could kind of watch my back and help me kind of craft this performance. And I will say that it's not done yet.
Yeah. On that note, I think that's...
On that note, I think that's it. Do we have to go?
Before we say other things that could get us fired, I'm going to go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, or I'm just kidding and it never happens again.
Gotta go. Bye so much.
Thank you guys.
We'll see y'all soon.
See ya.